Hey guys, if you're new here, I'm London, aka History of the Batman. So, it's an exciting time for the Cartoon Network animated series Teen Titans Go. Not only is their featured film Teen Titans Go to the Movies out July 27th, but also this past Friday, Teen Titans Go was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Short-Form Animated Program. And yet, 90% of the comments on the interwebs surrounding Teen Titans Go are very, very negative. And I'm just like, why? Comments like, Teen Titans Go is cancerous, or Teen Titans Go ruined my childhood, legit confuses me. So I want to talk about a few things in this video. Where this negativity for Teen Titans Go is rooted from, why this negativity is completely unnecessary, all the while giving you a brief history of Batman in animated television. Before we jump right in, of course, please subscribe right here to this channel and become a part of this awesome Gothamite community. Alright, so let's get started. The DC Comics character Batman jumped into popular culture in the 1960s with the live-action TV show Batman starring the late Adam West. It was literally a walking pop art ad with colorful rogues and plot points to match. And of course it was all reflective of the current Silver Age Batman comics. It was the epitome of camp, and while there are many modern Bat fans that cringe at this light-hearted bright knight, without the success of this 1966 series, there's a good chance the character would drop into obscurity like the Batman comic book sales at the time. And who knows where the Batman's incredible stories would be today. The live-action Batman show lasted for 3 seasons from 1966 to 1968. But even when the show ended, Batman was a household name at this point, crossing over into animated television in 1968's Filmation series The Adventures of Batman. But then Batman, Robin, and other members of DC Comics' Justice League joined forces into Hanna-Barbera's now iconic franchise, Super Friends, which began in 1973 and lasted until 1986. And during all this time, in 1977, Filmation put out another Batman-centric series called The New Adventures of Batman that saw Adam West and Burt Ward reprising their roles as the dynamic duo after a decade-long hiatus. These animated shows spanning from the late 1960s to the late 1980s embodied the pop art and light-hearted nature that the Batman 66 show introduced. This changes within the late 1980s with the emergence of the adult graphic novel in books such as Alan Moore's Watchmen and Frank Miller's Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. This darkness, popularized by the adult graphic novels, transcended into film, such as in Tim Burton's 1989 film Batman and his 1992 sequel Batman Returns, which then of course transferred over into animated television, leading us to the creation of the second DC animated universe, starting with 1992's TV show Batman the Animated Series. This moment in our timeline is where I believe the shift happens and the Bat memorabilia just run amok and influence how many fans enjoy current superhero TV shows. The Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman adventures lasted throughout the 1990s, bringing us a dynamic voice cast, 3-dimensional characters, complex plot points, and the beauty of the dark deco that made this kids cartoon feel like it had something to offer Batman fans who weren't kids. However, Batman the Animated Series is in fact a kids cartoon and was not made for the adult demographic, which is, I truly believe, the reason why there are many people who don't like the show Teen Titans Go. But we'll get more into that when we're done with our timeline. Alright, Ghost is walking around. I'll put a picture of him, what he's doing right now. It's his nap time, so he's tired. And he's looking at mommy like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? I'm right here. No one else is here. Stop judging me. So, back to our timeline. We're in the late 1990s and enter the 2000s with DC Animated Universe shows such as Batman Beyond, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited that all predominantly feature Batman. Then we start breaking from the classic DCAU mold and are given Batman series such as The Batman in 2004 and one of my personal favorites, Batman the Brave and the Bold, which began in 2008 and celebrated the Silver Age Batman comics, and it feels very reminiscent of course, the Adam West Batman TV series. Now, in between these Batman-centric shows that were on Cartoon Network, we were given other animated DC Comics shows. In particular, Teen Titans, which began in 2003. Teen Titans was based on Marv Wolfman and George Perez's original original New Teen Titans comic from the early 1980s and featured Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, and Starfire. The cartoon highlighted them fighting rogues such as Deathstroke and had commendable character development and complex themes very similar to the approach that Batman the Animated Series had for a kids cartoon. So because of this, when Teen Titans was canceled, fans were obviously very upset. Teen Titans was revived as the now Teen Titans Go in 2013, with the same voice cast and the same executive producers. However, added to this version was brighter animation and a more comedic interpretation of the original Teen Titans show. So with other DC animated shows on the air such as Justice League Action, Teen Titans Go is still running on Cartoon Network, is putting out a feature film, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and has been nominated for a second time for an Emmy Award. And yet many people want to state that nobody watches the show and that it's terrible. Which brings me back to my point earlier discussing Batman the Animated Series. When I've seen comments of people say that no one watches Teen Titans Go or that no one likes Teen Titans Go, that is incorrect for the sole fact that the demographic molded for Teen Titans Go is watching the show. The demographic is not us, guys. There are jokes here and there for the young adults to the adults our age. From stats from Instagram and other things, I'm in my late 20s, so I'm figuring that when I say us, I mean people that are from ages 18 to 35. We are essentially Team Bat member berries. We have this very unique experience with growing up with TV shows such as Batman the Animated Series and Justice League Unlimited that are essentially kids shows but with an essentially darker feel than an animated show such as the 70s Super Friends or even the Adam West 1960s Batman series. Because we grew up with shows like BTAS and the new Batman Adventures, we're conditioned to think that all animated shows should follow the creative mold that was the classic DCAU from the 1990s and the early 2000s, and not be so quote-unquote silly like Teen Titans Go is for kids now. To give an example of what our tastes for animated superhero TV shows essentially is, I think the best example would be an adult coloring book. Coloring books are made for kids, right? Yet adults are drawn to coloring books such as this for different reasons. There are comic book covers such as this Brian Boland one and panels that are from artists and creators that we enjoy and from comics that we read right now. And adult coloring books actually have been proven to take away some of the stress in your life. Essentially, these books cater to us, which is what we want our superhero animated TV shows to do. We think that all of the media that's out, the creators should make these things for us to enjoy, our demographic, Team Bat member berries. Even if this media is essentially crafted for kids, we were so used to media that was good for both, that's what we expect now. I won't use the term fanboys, but people with intense fandoms, I think that's nicer, can be very narcissistic. And I am totally guilty of that. And I will give you a perfect example that I'm sure you can relate to. For Batman the Animated Series fans, right? Kevin Conroy is Batman. So when DC Comics announces another awesome animated film or even an animated TV show that features Batman or is Batman centric and they announce the voice cast, we're like, wow, that's so cool. But if it's not Kevin Conroy's Batman, if it's Bruce Greenwood's Batman or if it's Jason O'Mara's Batman, we're like, wow, I bet it would be better if it's Kevin Conroy voicing Batman, or that's not my Batman, so I'm not really into it, or whatever version of that sentence you can think of. That's us. Instead of just being happy with the fact that we're given a new Batman animated movie or Batman's going to be featured in an animated TV show, we have to nitpick what isn't just like we had, essentially not support it. Which, if you think about it, guys, is rather toxic. And like I said earlier, it's not essentially our fault. This is what we grew up with. Most people don't like change. And while I vouch for that, and I vouch for those feelings of Bat member berries, and you just want things to be the same, and drawn the same, and sound the same, and everything the same, I am absolutely not okay with people saying that shows like Teen Titans Go are cancerous because it's the complete opposite. This show in particular introduces characters from Robin to Cyborg to Raven, characters that we love, to a younger audience who will grow up to love these characters in the fandom just like we do at this age, which will turn give the studios and companies a reason to continue on putting out content and media featuring these characters. And I know it's a weird concept, but it is totally okay for cartoons on Cartoon Network to be for kids. Now, this video isn't trying to tell you have to watch Teen Titans Go and you have to like it. If you genuinely have sat down and watched Teen Titans Go and are like, this isn't entertaining, it's not my cup of tea, I just don't like it, you don't watch it. You don't have to watch the TV show, you don't have to go watch the film, you don't have to buy the merchandise. That's totally fine, because there are tons of kids out there that are going to tell their parents, I need to go watch Cartoon Network on the TV and see Teen Titans Go. I need to go later this month to watch the Teen Titans Go to the movies, and then afterwards I want to go to a toy store, not Toys R Us, unfortunately. R.I.P. to Toys R Us. They were the real ones. And go buy the Funkos and the action figures and all of the merch because I love Teen Titans Go. So even if you aren't a fan, the show is a triumph in kids animation right now, which is why it's nominated for awards and why it's still on the air after 5 years, which is a pretty good streak for any TV show. And basically, if you aren't fond of the TV show, that doesn't mean that other people shouldn't be or other people aren't. I have been very grateful to have several opportunities to moderate panels at Comic-Cons, to interview for my podcast, both the voice cast and creators of Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, and Batman the Animated Series. Even though they are two different interpretations of essentially the same characters, what is the same is that each group loves what they do. They love bringing these characters to life, whether voicing them or drawing them or writing the script. And just because one interpretation is better to you than another interpretation doesn't mean that it's toxic or cancerous or bad. It's just not your cup of tea, which is totally fine, guys. If today's kids are going to like it, they're gonna grow up and be like us someday. And you should want this whole comic book genre to thrive across all different media, so future generations can continue to enjoy and just be as happy as we are. Thanks for watching this very brief history of Batman in animation and essentially a discussion about generational fandoms. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a bat thumbs up. And I just wanted to say quickly, congrats to everyone involved in Teen Titans Go for their Emmy nomination. As always, my social media is linked in the description, so go follow on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and become a Gothamite there. And as always, please subscribe to this channel and become a Gothamite here and join this wonderful Batman community. Thanks so much for watching, and we will have more History of Batman soon right here on YouTube. Remember, Gothamites, it's all about peace, love, and Batman. Bye.